So, Mark, have you ever heard the story about the crazy encounter between Alexander the Great and Diogenes?
Nah, man, enlighten me. What's the story?
All right, check this out. It's wild. You've got Alexander the Great, right? The military genius and the king of Macedonia, who created one of the largest empires of the ancient world. This guy went about conquering everywhere. A total powerhouse, man. And then there's Diogenes. He was this eccentric philosopher type dude who lived in a giant clay wine jar of all things and doesn't care about having stuff.
Dude lived in a clay wine jar? That's hilarious.
Yeah, man, he was just weird like that. So one day, Alexander hears about this Diogenes guy from one of his advisors. He got curious, right? Because Alexander's all about greatness and conquering stuff. And here's this guy who's famous for, well, living in a jar and doing nothing.
Ha! Nothing! I can respect that. So what happened when these two met?
Alexander heads to the city of Corinth and finds Diogenes sunbathing or whatever, and he's like, "I'm Alexander the Great, dude. Ask me for anything you want and I'll give it to you." And you know what Diogenes says?
No? Hit me.
"Move a little. You're blocking my sunlight." Can you believe that?
No way! Sunlight? That's like telling the president to scoot over because he's blocking your view at a concert. Sounds like he's just messing with him.
I know. The crazy thing is, Alexander wasn't even mad. In fact, he was impressed. He turns to his people and says, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes."
So, Diogenes was making a point? Like a philosophical statement or something?
Exactly. It's all about perspective, man. Diogenes was living the way he wanted, completely detached, like from desires and societal expectations and all that. Alexander was a conqueror and was at the top of his game. But seeing Diogenes, a man who had nothing but was happy, that moved him.
Psh, I get it, but it still feels like Diogenes was having a bit of fun at Alexander's expense. Like, yeah, you can conquer the world, but can you give me some shade?
Well, Diogenes was known to be funny like that. He was probably telling Alexander all that wealth and power doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
That's deep. Makes you think about what's really important, huh?
Totally. Sometimes it's all about being true to yourself and enjoying the simple things in life.